This is Jim McKay reporting from Ensenada, Mexico, some 60 miles south of the U.S. border, the starting point for one of the world's strangest motor races. Over the terrain of Baja, California, which somewhat resembles that of the moon, more than 250 vehicles are prepared to race in the Mexican 1000. There's prize money, almost $60,000, and here's the course. The vehicles of whatever kind must check in at 8 different points along the way. And we'll be at the start and later at Rancho Santa Ynez to talk with the drivers. That's that point right there. Later after that, we'll see the motorcycle men change riders like the Pony Express at El Arco, the halfway point. From there, night will fall for most, temperatures will drop, and the racers will have to find their way through the unmarked wasteland toward the final stretch at La Paz. As I said, the vehicles run the gamut of design. Motorcycles are here, dune buggies, four-wheel drive vehicles, regular passenger cars, all specially equipped. For example, everybody has an air filter to filter out the choking dust along the way, and a first aid kit that they certainly hope they won't have to use. Even the switches are specially made to resist the dust. And the men, well, they're as varied as the machines, from movie stars like Jim Garner, famous drivers like Parnelli Jones. There are neighborhood mechanics, surfers, everybody. A lot of people around here are picking Larry Minor to quite possibly win this race. What's your comment on that, Larry?
Well, the guy hopes to win. Of course, a lot of things can go wrong in that distance. Flat tires, engine failure, but a guy hopes for a lot of luck every race. I think luck has a lot to do with this type of racing.
Malcolm Smith rode a motorcycle last year, and at the end of about half the race, he was, what, 4 or 5 hours ahead in your class?
5 hours ahead of the cars and about 2 hours ahead of any bikes at the halfway.
And yet this year you show up in a buggy. Why is that?
Oh, this is more interesting. You go all the way. You get to enter the whole race.
I see.
A lot more fun.
Did you have any adventures during that 9 hours and something last year in this wild country down there?
No, it was easy going down, but it was hard coming back. We had an old Volkswagen that a friend of mine drove down there, my co-driver this year, and we started back and it gave up on us, and we rode on a turtle truck with live sea turtles on the top of the turtles all the way for 5 days.
There's that old line, you know, that art imitates nature, but sometimes nature imitates art. I don't know whether that's the story with Jim Garner or not. Did you do any racing before Grand Prix, or did that...
Well, not really. Not really. I used to drive hot rods and what have you in California, but that was a long time ago. That was the forerunner of these cars, as a matter of fact.
Sure, I guess that's obviously true. But this is a little more serious, driving almost 1,000 miles through Baja, California.
Yeah, you better be serious. You can go on your head a couple of times. I think we had one of our cars, one of the Broncos last year, that flipped 3 different times and still made it 30 miles to the finish line. So you can get upside down this way.
What gave you the idea like to do it?
What's fun?
Well, Allie, you, of course, have spent your racing life in the big leagues of racing, Indianapolis specifically. What in the world are you doing in this race?
Well, more than anything else, I'd have to say that I really don't have to take it quite so serious, and I have run a race in the past in a Bronco, and I enjoyed it very much, and it was really a lot of fun, so I thought I'd try it again.
Is it the same thing as driving a car in Indianapolis in the sense that a race driver is a race driver is a race driver?
Well, I think one of the real problems, it becomes a problem because when you see another car up ahead of you that maybe you're overtaking or something, you get quite racy at times. And of course, this is not always the best thing because you can really only drive these things about as far as you can see ahead of you. And the minute you try to take a chance or something, even if you do get away with it, it only encourages you to do it again. And once you stick one in a hole or bend the front end or blow a couple of front tires out or something like that, you're really in trouble.
Pop Diversely is 62 years old, and as the stock question goes, Pop, what is a man your age doing in a thing like this?
Well, you have to be nuts.
Well, Pop said it, I didn't. In a minute, the start of the Mexican 1000. The time of day is dawn. We're in the little town of Ensenada, Mexico, on the Pacific Ocean, about 60 miles south of the United States border. We thought we'd seen everything in motor racing, but we haven't. We've seen the 24 Hours of Le Mans, European road circuits, the Indianapolis 500, Southern stock car racing, but this is something else. 250 cars ready to go in the Mexican 1000, and there goes the first. with Chuck Andrade and his partner Gary Weirs. Off onto the early paved section of this road, and that doesn't last them very long. It's supposed to have been cleared of traffic before the start of the race, but it sure doesn't look like it. You see them pass that truck? Looks like they will have regular early morning traffic in Mexico to contend with, along with everything else. However, they will try to make just as fast time as they can on this paved section. As I said, there's not very much of it, and then it's out into the country. Here go Malcolm Smith and Bob Edwards of San Bernardino in their so-called pigeon-toe dune buggy, and Larry Miner and Jack Bayer in a Ford Bronco, one of the favored teams. Off into the dawn. Think a bike's going to do it this time, Gary?
Yeah, think so.
What's your advantage?
8-speed transmission. Fast.
10 seconds. 10 seconds. Good luck. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Another top bike rider coming, Larry Bergquist. What's the strategy?
Just going fast.
15 seconds.
Okay. Have fun, baby.
Up on 5. 5, 3, 2, 1, go! Dune buggy coming up next, and in it is Skip Newell, who's done some surfing commentary with us on Wide World, and his partner George Haddock.
Go!
Now a Volkswagen. In there is Andre Farish of Frogmore, Louisiana, a long way from home with his partner Carl Chadwick. All of these vehicles out to beat the old record of 26 hours and 8 minutes that was set in last year's race, which was the first official Mexican 1000. A look from overhead in our helicopter right now. Larry Miner has taken the lead in the race very quickly as the others begin to move out towards the countryside, and here is Miner in the Bronco. Nearing the end of the paved surface, however. The Bronco figures to make good time on the pavement. Now he moves off onto the dirt. No more pavement for 800 miles. See how that Bronco can keep up now when it gets into this kind of territory. One of the motorcycles is doing very well. Here it is. It's Larry Bergquist, his scarf flying in the wind. He'll use that occasionally to wipe off his goggles. He's on a Honda, and he's moved up into second place overall among the vehicles that have started so far. That could be very significant because he's doing it on the pavement. His most maneuverable territory should be after he gets off that surface. Out into the underbrush. And there he goes. The other motorbike obviously can take these bumps a lot better than a four-wheel vehicle can. From overhead, he's slowing down, and, well, there we see why. A herd of cattle slowly making their way across what passes for the road from now on. There'll be a lot of that sort of thing. There is the dune buggy of Malcolm Smith and Bob Edwards. They're in third. If that looks like more pavement just behind them there, that's a road under construction, not open for this year's race. Jim Garner's coming to the starting line. Jim, you're an articulate man. Can you put into words what you're thinking about right now?
At this time, do you really expect me to be very articulate? I'm just a little nervous, but we'll get it down the road.
Good.
Okay, thank you, Jim.
Yeah, we're waiting with the checkers. Have fun, Jim.
By the way, we have a camera in Jim Garner's car. Hope you get a look through it later on. Bob, I've seen that helmet many places in the world.
Well,
never thought I'd see it here.
I didn't either.
We talked about the philosophy of this thing at great length yesterday. Would you like to sum it up in 8 seconds?
Well, we're just going to be very careful and try to make it. And do our best.
15
That's all we can do.
Somewhere behind that mask is one of the great race drivers of the world, Bob Bondurant.
10 seconds, Robert. 5 seconds, Bob.
And now a husband and wife team, Sheldon and Janine Bass. This didn't really come with the marriage contract, did it?
No, it didn't. We enjoy the same hobbies, let's put it that way.
So you sure you want to go through with all this, huh?
Well, I sure do.
Are you going to drive at all?
Yes, halfway.
You are gonna drive halfway?
He's letting me drive at night.
20 seconds.
At night?
At night.
That's a husbandly gesture, I think.
That's right.
Have a nice ride.
Thank you very much.
Parnelli Jones. Hey, Parnelli.
5 seconds.
I always thought Indianapolis started kind of early.
Pardon?
I always thought Indianapolis started kind of early, but this is ridiculous.
15 seconds.
I'm inclined to go along with you.
Have a real good ride. Off went former Indianapolis winner Parnelli Jones, and now the others. They'll be going off for almost 4 hours in all. Remember, there are more than 250 entries in this race. The leader at the moment is still Larry Minor in the Bronco. Larry has won several off-road races already this year. That's why he is one of the top favorites. But look, his hood is loose right now. That could be a problem, particularly happening so early in the race. Meanwhile, Larry Bergquist is really flying through the underbrush right now. Remember, the motorbike riders have to carry everything on their backs. His jacket must weigh 35 pounds. He has his tools in there, everything he might need, because he is all alone until he picks up his partner some 400 miles, maybe 10, 12 hours down the road. Bergquist still doing very well at this point. Malcolm Smith and the pigeon-toed dune buggy. Really built for this kind of terrain, but having little problems at least. The race goes on in Baja, California. Larry Bergquist has taken the lead in the Mexican 1000 on his 350cc Honda motorcycle. There he is, flying through the dust and the heat of Baja, California. The temperature in the high 90s, and in this part of this country, they just about get an inch and a half of rain per year, so it's really dry and dusty. Larry Minor, who had been leading, had to stop to fix his hood, so he's dropped back to third. And in second place is Malcolm Smith. There is his cloud of dust. Smith second, and Minor the other cloud of dust. Malcolm Smith in the so-called pigeon-toed dune buggy. The front wheels are made that way to make it more maneuverable, to allow the front wheels to kind of float and give with the terrain, while the back wheels maintain traction. Now here it is in slow motion. You see the back wheels holding to the earth, while those front wheels, as we say, kind of undulate and bounce. Now, back to Larry Minor. The hood is fixed. He's on the road again and headed for a fairly straight and flat section. He may be able to make up some time on Malcolm Smith right now. Larry Minor, one of the top favorites, because he has won a number of off-road races already this year. They say horses for courses. Well, the same is true in motor racing. One fellow may be good at Indianapolis, another may be much better at off-road racing. Another kind of racing on Wide World of Sports next week, by the way. We're going to have the champions indoor track and field meet from Los Angeles. Looking right now at Chuck Andrade and Gary Weirs. They're in fourth position, although they were the first vehicle to leave the starting line. Still doing well, however, in this contest. Skies overhead very clear. Here comes Skip Buell, the fellow he said has worked with us a number of times as a commentator on surfing, and his partner, George Haddock. Whoops, must be Skip at the wheel right now, I think. But there they go. And now another motorcycle has come into the picture. This is number 43. Now they start according to numbers. So number 43 started well back in the pack, but right now Art Rogers of Burbank, California, on his big Triumph 650cc is doing well. And there you see him in slow motion. See how the motorcycle is better adapted to this terrain. And see how he stands in those pegs. He doesn't want to be on the seat when it hits, nor does he want his feet to leave the pegs and get him airborne. Here comes Jim Garner. James Garner of the movies, and his partner, Scooter Patrick. We have a camera in that car. Maybe in a minute we can get a look through that, see what it's like from the driver's point of view. The spare wheels on the back. This is a fairly smooth section of road, as a matter of fact. You can see that from here. But look at the way he still has to fight that wheel all the time. And look at this. Watch his helmet. Watch the man bouncing. Scooter Patrick, his partner, then, cannot rest. Even when you're not driving in this race, you're getting bounced all over, and actually they have handles on the side of the vehicles for the resting driver to hold on to. Number 59 Bronco, and now we're looking again through a camera in a vehicle. This is in Bob Bondurant's dune buggy. And there is Robert taking a few bounces. This is such a long and such a grueling thing. Remember, the record is more than 26 hours, and they hope to break it. Now, Parnelli Jones. We've gotten word that Parnelli, who said he was going to kind of cool it, just try to hold the car together, covered the first 95 miles in 60 minutes. Car looks terribly funny around the left rear wheel. The wheels come off. No spin, though, and with the skill that brought him an Indianapolis championship, he has brought it to a halt. Now, with the spare wheels, he may be able to get going again. He has the fastest time to the point that he has reached. In other words, he is the probable leader in the race at this moment. We'll check back with him later. Pop Diversely, age 62, speeding through Baja, California. Well, it must keep the circulation going. We'll be back in a minute. Basically an ordinary sight, an airplane coming in for a landing, but this is no ordinary place. Right now we have moved almost a quarter of a way down the race course here in Baja, California to Rancho Santa Ynez, and this is no movie prop behind me. This is the real thing, a ranch house about 200 years old and quite possibly the only house within those 50 or 100 miles of here. Let's look at the map again for a moment. They started, of course, at Ensenada, then down along the Pacific Ocean side of the peninsula to Comalú and El Rosario, although not actually within sight of the ocean. Now they're back to the middle of the peninsula to Rancho Santa Ynez, this ranch house. The people quite kindly have volunteered it for a checkpoint, so it's very busy around the ranch today. There are half a dozen airplanes have come in addition to the one that you just saw now. There are 4 or 5 families who have been camping their way down through Baja, California, who have stopped here to see who's going to be leading the race when they get to this checkpoint. As for the race course, you can't believe it right here. All it looks like is just so much dust. Somebody, however, very shortly is going to come down that dust path, and we'll find out who's in first place. We'll find out, in fact, right now. Here comes Larry Bergquist on his Honda motorcycle. Larry, the first into this checkpoint, has been speeding all along the way, hasn't made a mistake so far. Right now, they're taking out his card that must be punched for this checkpoint. All the checkpoints are indicated, 1 through 8. Now he'll move up to where his pit crew is and get some more gasoline and whatever else he needs. Congratulations, Larry.
Thanks.
Really got it going, huh?
Yeah, it's running pretty good.
What's been the story of the race, briefly?
Big funnel.
Oh, just go hard.
See any incidents out there?
No, none at all. Almost hit a couple dogs.
Almost hit a couple what?
Hit a dogs.
Is that right? But you got around him, huh?
Yeah. Hey, we gotta get some gas fast.
How about your physical condition? You getting tired?
No, I'm all right.
For gas. Okay, gas. Come on, I'll hold the funnel, Larry. Larry, pull your goggles off for a second. No smoking.
Almost a strange quietness about a pit stop here. Remember, nobody else has reached this point. We're in the desert.
Wish we did.
Here you are. I can't get this thing in neutral and I won't back shift.
Yeah, the gearbox
Only goes 15
gallons. There's a sip of water this one.
Port fast.
Tempting to. There's 15 gallons.
I want a sip of that. Top it right off. You guys keep an eye on me on gas. I was damn near out. Okay.
Okay. We'll be with you all the way.
All right.
Enter.
So the lonely ride of Larry Bergquist continues. There's nobody out in front of him. Headed for La Paz. And now, here's the familiar figure of Mickey Thompson. He jumped on the hood of Larry Miner's Bronco as it came in. Mickey Thompson, the well-known land speed record driver, owner of Indianapolis cars, and just down here to help out today. We'll try to get a word with Mickey when he's not working here sometime.
Ahead of the next car behind you now.
You're the first four-wheel vehicles in to this point. Congratulations.
Big maker all the way.
Get a little dusty. Around the bottom?
Got behind some buggies there and had to make up some time.
You see any incidents out there?
No, didn't see anything.
Keep her going.
You're way ahead of this car. So you're pretty far ahead. The only guy that's going like hell is Jones.
Well, you heard what he said, and here's a look out on the course now at Parnelli Jones, and he sure is moving. In car number 83, another Bronco. Must remind him of his old dirt track racing days. But this is a lot more rugged than those closed courses. Parnelli being pursued right now, however, by 21-year-old John DeSoto on his motorcycle. Trying to catch Parnelli Jones on a motorcycle takes a lot of nerve, and he has taken to the underbrush to do it. Figured he couldn't get any place in all that dust, and look at DeSoto fly. Whoop! A fella could get airborne this way. Almost losing control of that bike. Still can't catch Jones. Let's take a look at that in slow motion, because he almost came off that bike. Look, both feet off, just holding onto the handlebars here. He couldn't keep his feet in the pegs, as we said a couple of minutes ago, you're supposed to do, if at all possible. And this time, he's even up higher. Look at that right foot. Almost did a somersault. Almost stood head up on the handlebars of his motorcycle. Somehow or other, though, John DeSoto kept moving forward and with the throttle open wide. Back into the pegs, finally, and in a more comfortable position. Still unable to... Now, that's the way he should do it. And that's the way he does it this time, but he can't catch Parnelli Jones. Seems to have given up that chase, at least for the moment. Back here in the pits, Malcolm Smith has arrived. Good time, Malcolm.
Oh, great. Lots of fun.
You see any incidents out there? Any problems?
No, no.
Let's turn around this way for just a second.
Only one I ever see is Larry Bergquist and Larry Miner in the Bronco.
Yeah, well, they're up ahead of you still.
Yeah. Yeah, we know. We can't keep up with the motorcycle. And the other guy's going too fast, so we just...
Well, how are those fancy front wheels working out with the inward camber there, the pigeon-toed car?
They're still there.
They sure are. They've been effective?
So far.
There has been a wreck back out on the course. The word we get is that is the dune buggy of Bruce Myers, one of the best-known men in the sports. And that is he, I believe, under the blanket out on the road. A bad crash, a bad wreck for Bruce Myers. There you see him. And there's another one. That's Van Williams, who used to play the Green Hornet on television. Word of all this just coming back to the pits.
Bruce Myers got racked up out of Ensenada. They took him to the hospital in a helicopter.
Oh, I hate to hear that.
Kill somebody else.
Okay.
There you go, Chuck.
Hold on, Chuck.
Eat him up alive. Go, Gary.
See you, Daddy-O. Thank you.
Okay.
Okay, here's the bike.
It's still a long, long road south.
How far ahead of me is Bergquist?
But he's quite a way.
Art Rogers is in the pits right now. He has already passed 35 other vehicles on his motorcycle.
You all set?
Yep. How's your brake? Everything all right?
Yeah,
No need adjustment or anything?
Off he goes, and close behind him is coming in Parnelli Jones. In 238 miles, Jones has passed 71 other vehicles.
You want some water down your neck?
Must be going pretty good, Parnelli.
Well, we did have to stop and change one tire.
You did?
Yes. The left rear, the lug nuts came off, and the wheel went flying off. We changed them in the first pit stop.
Well, you started. Two candy bars in there. You start an hour and 20 minutes behind. I think maybe you're leading the race. And there goes Parnelli. Now let's have a word with the busiest volunteer mechanic here today, Mickey Thompson. What's been going on here? Said something about motor racing.
Oh, this is a fantastic thing. It's a fantastic thing, and I think it's a real up-and-coming sport. Last year they had, what, about 65 entries, and this year I understand they have, well, it's had close to 300 entries, and actually about 255 show up. So I think it's really saying something, and it's great that the Mexican people allow us to come down here and race in the roads, you know, especially when they have traffic on it.
Try that at home. It'd be pretty tough.
I know.
I was thinking more specifically, Mickey, of the fact that you are crawling around the pits here. You call these pits, doing this welding and fixing of carburetors and so forth that I was talking about.
Well, I like to do that, and when I need help, well, I've always had somebody help me. And a lot of these poor motorcycle people, they're messed up in their crews coming in. And fortunately, we're flying in my airplane, and we're making all the stops, such as you are. Yeah. And so it gives a big advantage, and we can see what's going wrong, and we can get ahead and be ready to help them when they come in, because there's no radio down here. And us being ahead, why, then we can be prepared for them when they come in.
Doesn't look like you feel like it's too much of an imposition either.
Never.
Is this the next best thing to being in the car?
Absolutely, absolutely. Anytime you can help anybody, why, it's always good. Whether it's a car or just walking down the street or what it is.
Good luck at Bonneville, Mickey.
Thank you very much.
Here's Jim Garner in the pits.
No, it's running. It's working.
Is it working?
Yeah.
Are we in it now?
I don't know. Is it all the way back or are you in two wheels?
I'll find out.
Okay, go.
You got tires to the next stop?
You ready? Oh, we'll get some.
Huh?
Garner's doing well up to here, too. Moving up.
No, you get your hands on it. Get some. Flat. You got it? Okay.
Let's go, Skid.
Okay.
Back out on the course now, there is the leader, Larry Bergquist. Still the loneliest figure in the race because there's nobody, not a soul out in front of him. He has no idea what's going on behind him. We've gotten word that Bruce Myers has been flown to the hospital in San Diego. Apparently he broke both of his legs but is conscious and apparently will be all right. Van Williams, the Green Hornet, was not injured at all in his accident. There is Bergquist, showing no signs of slowing up, no letdown, no obvious signs of fatigue. He's really moving. Many hundreds of miles still to go in the race. Remember, his partner, however, will take over the bike at the midway point at El Arco. And now here's Larry Minor, back, as we said, in second place again. Comes nightfall, it's going to be a lot more difficult to find their way. They, of course, have maps, they have compasses. Matter of fact, you can see his co-driver taking a look at the map right now, trying to make sure where they are. There is a dirt track, as you can see, but there are other ones. You can take the wrong one. Now in third place, this is Malcolm Smith. We'll be back for the finish of this race. Right now, we're going to move on to Oberstaufen, Germany, women's skiing, and Bud Palmer. Here has led almost all the way.
A little funny.
Larry Bergquist on the Honda motorcycle, who handed over to his partner, Gary Preston, at the halfway point at El Arco.
Well, you know.
There's Preston.
I ran out of gas before the first gas check.
Then it was the time for Preston's ordeal. For Bergquist, it was over. Preston speeding out of the little town of El Arco. Second in, Larry Minor and Bayer in their Bronco. You can imagine the exhaustion and the bone weariness. Coming in third place, surprisingly, was motorcycle number 43, Art Rogers here, giving over to Don Bohannon.
They said you'd be here at 5 o'clock, you monkey, and you're here.
Everybody was excited.
How many 250s through? Hey, we're running. How far ahead of you? Is he? Quite a ways? He's an hour and a half, 2 hours ahead. We might catch him. Damn, we might catch him. 20 miles past the last checkpoint, which is Villa Constitution. There's a big herd of cattle on the road.
Can you imagine an automobile race where they have to warn you about cattle on the road? Showering at what someone had jokingly dubbed the El Arco Hilton was Mr. James Garner of Hollywood.
Well, have you had your shower, dear?
Yeah, oh, I'm clean, fresh to daisy, just ready to go.
Makeup's running.
Is it? Makeup, man.
The makeup may have been running, but so was the team of Garner and Scooter Patrick. Off went one vehicle after another, off into the blackness and the night, headed for La Paz. Back up the road, however, many hadn't made it. Long hours before, they had broken down. Like Parnelly Jones, the front wheel had finally given way, and he sat on the abandoned Bronco. He wasn't alone. More than 100 vehicles had dropped out before El Arco of every size, shape, and description. Malcolm Smith, who had been second and third in the early going, was out of it. But those who could continue did, even with free wheels. Imagine traversing terrain like this that stretches almost as far as from New York to Chicago. What had caused the breakdowns, it was terrain like this. Terrain that it would take a normally good driver in a Jeep, say, driving 8 or 10 hours a day, driving hard, almost a week to traverse. The winter here would take less than a day. It was so hard. By the time they reached the dry lake bed at Lake Chapala, it had all almost taken on a dreamlike quality. Have you ever had to open your car door to let the dust out? All this was long hours ago. Now as I stand in the darkness at the finish line, the leaders are nearing La Paz, the finish in a minute. We believe that the sound coming on in the distance is Gary Preston on motorcycle number 6. We're not sure, but we'll sure know in a matter of seconds. Here he comes. That's who it is.
Beautiful. You have your route card.
Gary, you're first over the line. Congratulations. Hey, gotta find that card first.
Back up, though.
Get back.
It's not official. Did you turn that in, huh?
Maybe I don't have it.
Here's the pocket open.
Pocket's gone.
You got it here?
No, it was in there.
Gary, did you have any incidents in the night out there?
No. Just went smooth.
Gary.
Thank you.
Gary, what was the pre-race strategy that you and Larry had worked out for this?
Go fast.
Well, you sure did that. But was there any compensating thing of still preserve the bike somehow? Or was it just flat out and hope that it lasted?
Well, we sort of paced this ourselves, make sure that we last, and so did the bike last. It's more of an endurance type race than an out-and-out race.
It is sure an endurance race. There's no question of that. You went more than 11 hours on that bike. How do you feel? I mean, you must be exhausted to a degree that we can't imagine.
I'm a little bit tired, but it's 3 o'clock in the morning.
You'd be tired anyway.
Yeah.
Think, huh? You're looking at Mrs. Larry Miner, waiting for her husband to come home from a very long day's work. He's driving a Bronco, and it looks like it's going to be the first 4-wheeled vehicle across the line. She said a moment ago, that's a Bronco. It sounds like one.
One headlight.
There's only one light. Maybe it isn't the Bronco. Yes, it is. With one.
chased that guy all night.
When last we saw you way back up the road, you'd had one tiny problem with the hood latch. Any other problems after that?
Oh, I see. We had about 3 flats, and then I hit a cow coming in, too.
You hit a cow?
Yeah, just right here, so we had to slow down a lot from then.
Did that cost you any time?
No, we just slowed down after we hit it and started watching a little closer.
Now sputtering along, nearing the finish line slowly is motorcycle number 43. That's Don Bohannon.
50 miles on one cylinder.
Let me have your card. Can I have your card?
Aye.
Yeah.
50 miles on one
Let me
cylinder.
have your card.
50 miles on one cylinder. Look at it. Look at it. It's nothing.
Pretty long day.
Not too bad. I had dinner at El Arco at 5 o'clock. Hi, Gary. Man, I had it all. I was 11 minutes behind you back to the last check. And I come down this pavement a million miles an hour in it. No. Gain time on the, where's the guys in that car? They're too much.
Larry Minor?
Oh. I'd never believe a car would go down through there that fast, you know that? And of course, he eats up the pavement.
Oh, yeah. Let me have your card.
You stay on the bike the whole time, Al?
Oh, except for once.
What happened then?
I sort of fell down.
Finishing 4th, the Jeep of Rodney Hall and Carl Jackson. The winners, however, are now official, the Honda of Larry Bergquist and Gary Preston in 20 hours, 38 minutes, breaking the previous record by 5.5 hours. We'll be back in La Paz in a minute. It's daylight again in Mexico, and as you look at the official results, I should tell you that 137 vehicles couldn't make it. Just to finish, then, was an achievement. James Garner made it, finishing 4th in his class. 62-year-old Pop Diversely had many problems, but was 6th in his class. Bob Bondurant didn't reach La Paz. His buggy deserted him at Santa Ynez. Now we end our coverage of the Mexican 1000, a race that will certainly go into the logbook as one of the more memorable experiences as we wander the wide world of sports. The race itself, however, is far from over. As a matter of fact, the vast majority of the field is still somewhere way back up that long road north, and they'll be coming into La Paz, to the piece at the end of that road, for another day and a half, as a matter of fact. What does it all prove? Well, I don't know, except that it might be the old thing that as long as there's a mountain, there'll be one man who wants to climb it and another who wants to ski down it. As long as there's an ocean, there'll be one man who wants to sail across it and another who wants to plumb its depths. I guess that's the story, and that is the story from us. Jim McKay reporting.